If you've ever caught yourself thinking, I used to love this work all the time, what happened? Then you're not alone. And this episode of The Level Up is for you. And if this is your first time joining us, welcome. I'm Dr. Kim Nichols, physician, coach, and the founder of Level Up with Dr. Kim In, a space for women physicians who are ready to build careers that reflect who they are becoming, not just who they are trained to be. We're back for part two of a two-part conversation about joy in medicine. In part one, we discuss the real phenomenon of women physicians asking what happened to the sustained joy we had in this work. And we also identified what could be blocking that joy. If you haven't watched part one already, the link is in the description below. It's worth watching first. But if you're here and you're ready, then you already know the problem. Today, we're talking solutions. Three specific things you can start doing this week to begin finding your joy again. And you'll want to stick around for the third because that one is the most powerful. So, here's the question I'm hearing from most women physicians. How do we find our joy again? Well, let me give you three things that can help you find your answer. First, reconnect with your why. Maybe it's the one you wrote in your personal statement, or even the one you gave in a job interview. But also, go back and ask yourself honestly, when in my career have I felt most alive, most connected to the reason why I chose this work? Sit with the gap between that moment and where you are right now. That gap is your compass. This is not about judgment. It's not evidence that you made some wrong choices along the way. What it is information. It's pointing you toward what might need to change. What would it feel like to start closing that gap, to start feeling alive in your work again? And who would you need to become to get there? That's your starting point. Second, start small and be protective. Listen, you do not need a full career overhaul to experience joy. You don't need to start over. You probably don't need a new specialty. You just need one thing. One thing is where joy starts. It makes joy feel accessible. So find one thing, one activity, one part of your work that lights you up, that makes you feel alive, that makes you think, yes, this is why I chose this work. This is why I keep coming back. Find one thing that doesn't feel like work to you. For me, if asked to name that one thing, it would be teaching. I remember realizing something after working with medical students and residents. I walked out of sessions with them with a lot of energy, watching someone finally master a skill they had been practicing for weeks, watching them learn to help patients feel safe, seeing confidence replace uncertainty, being part of someone's development. I loved it. What started as one small yes to more teaching eventually changed the entire direction of my career. For you, it may be something completely different, and that's okay. Whatever it is, when you find that one thing, protect it fiercely. Use rock solid boundaries around it. That one thing is a seed for you to reclaim your joy. And I think many of us can agree we could use more of that right now. Okay, before I get to the third one, I'll pause here for a second. If anything I've said so far is hitting close to home, if you're recognizing yourself in this and you know it's time to do something about it, you don't have to wait until the end of this video. The link to book a discovery call with me is right in the description below. No pressure, no obligation, just a simple conversation about where you are and how you want your next chapter to look. Now, for the third thing. And this one has the potential to be the most transformational of them all. The third thing is to give yourself permission. You've got to give yourself permission to feel joy. I know, it almost sounds too simple, and yet it's not. Not when we've been trained that joy is something we have to earn. Once we've done enough hard things or proven ourselves worthy, we spend a lot of time meeting metrics in our work. But there is nothing that says we need to be joyless while we're doing that work. What I've noticed from the women I've had the privilege of coaching is that those permissions have to come from you. So, what does giving yourself permission to feel joy look like in practice? I ask because I hear this from women who are working through expectations and working through a feeling that they haven't yet earned it. And what I tell them is the same thing I want to tell you. It means deciding that the wait is over. And I understand this deeply because for a while I was waiting for my work to feel like it was adding up to something, waiting for permission to have my work reflect the person I was becoming, in addition to the clinical work I am privileged to enjoy. And so I waited and waited and waited some more. But what I was waiting for was never going to come from anyone outside of myself. I realized that permission had to come from me. And the day I decided to grant myself that permission was the very day that set me on a path to professional joy. The thing that about joy that is so cool is that it compounds. I built a whole career on that joy because the joy I felt in my work fueled me to pursue even bigger things that brought me even more joy. Teaching led to advising, and advising led to speaking, and all of it led to coaching and to creating this community with you. But first, I had to decide that I had permission. You also get to decide. You only need your own approval to honor what brings you joy. And you don't need to wait until after you've paid your dues to prove how tough you are. You're plenty tough. You've been through medical school, residency, sometimes a fellowship. You're tough. You can have joy right now. And you already have everything you need to start finding it if you give yourself permission to do so. So, what is it exactly that lights you up? Find that and go get it. Here's what I hope you remember from today. You don't have to have your whole career figured out. You don't need all the answers. You just need to take one small step toward the work that makes you feel most alive. Reconnect with what energizes you, protect it, and give yourself permission to pursue it. Because joy in medicine, it's not gone. It's out there waiting for you, waiting beneath expectations and obligations, but it's there and you deserve to find it. So I'd love to hear from you. What is one part of your work that is bringing you the most joy right now? Share it in the comments. And if you're ready to explore what creating more professional joy could look like in your own career, I'd love to support you. You can schedule a complimentary discovery call using the link below. And if someone specific came to mind while you were watching, please send this episode to her and let her know that she too can reclaim her joy. Because none of us should have to figure this out alone. In our next episode, we'll talk about something women physicians can quietly experience, a loneliness that can come with this work, and how we can begin building the connections that we need. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss it. And remember, you already have the answers. My job is to help you hear them. I'm Dr. Kim Nichols, and you've been watching The Level Up, where we level up your career and your life. I'll see you next time.